We are now officially halfway through 2025, and although I am very sick right now, we're brought together yet again to celebrate another games I played in June video. I treat these videos more as a personal gaming journal more than anything, like as something fun to look back on and see what I was doing at this time. But our first game is Minecraft. This is one I've always played on and off, like every other player. The game's always been with me and it's just a generational classic. I was brought back into it by an RL craft server I played with my brother and his friends, and in it I managed to get some stuff. I got a mushroom farm and a wheat and carrot farm going, but it quickly ended with an unexpected swim in some lava, But I actually really enjoy the casual progression of Minecraft and moving on from one task to another, and always having something to do. But in the last few years, I haven't really played. I had a realm with my friends last year, which went well, but for the most part, I've tried avoiding the game because that moment when you lose everything in an instant from some type of bullshit thing you couldn't help is the worst kind of heartbreak. And although you don't start back from nothing, it's still just the worst when you lose all your enchanted diamond armor. I then tried out some modded gameplay, but I really just wanted to play the normal game. So when I started a new playthrough, I decided to play on Keep Inventory. Now don't start booing me and calling me a pussy, because this time I really just wanted to enjoy my time. And I really did. I got some nice farms going and built this sick ass castle. Like, how good does this shit look? I got a full beacon eventually, and for the first time, I got full netherite armor and tools all by myself. And what I'm most proud of is actually beating the Ender Dragon on my own single player world, which I don't think I've ever done in all my 15 years of playing this game. And you can call me trash for that, but I never really took my worlds or playthroughs too seriously, and I never took any risk at all. But Keep Inventory has finally made me enjoy Minecraft again. Thank God for that. And then I played Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius, the video game, from 2001. I ain't really gonna talk about it until I finish my video on it for the main channel, so go subscribe to that if you haven't already. Then I played Resident Evil Village. To me, it feels like a perfect mix between Resident Evil 7's new standard for survival horror and the more action-oriented gameplay of the older games, specifically Resident Evil 4. And honestly, it just feels a whole lot like Resident Evil 4. The story expands more upon RE7 with the Mega Mice seat, and the whole vibe and layouts of all the areas and bosses is done very well. Every bit and section ties well into everything else, and it feels a lot like Dark Souls with how well everything blends together. However, having everything being on a larger scale than RE7 and expanding on pretty much everything, it still leaves a lot to be desired and leaves a ton of loose ends, which I hope they tie together in RE9. But I think it stands as my second favorite Resident Evil game, just below RE7. Only because those are the only Resident Evil games I've played. But closely in third place for right now, I have Resident Evil 4, the remake. I tried to play this game on stream, but the amount of crashing I got was insane. With 4 hours of my playtime, I crashed probably over 70 times. And that's not even an exaggeration. But now that that's out of the way, yeah, the game is peak. The more action-oriented gameplay is more fun to play around with than I thought it would be before playing. And I'm glad this was before the games basically became Call of Duty or whatever the fuck they were doing in RE5 and 6. Honestly, for the crashes, it was probably just a combination of my streaming and recording along with the game's out-of-the-world graphics that was causing the crashes. But once I get back to the game, I can see this being up there as one of my favorites. Also, Leon's my honey bun. I then started playing a cheeky bit of Bloons TD6. I used to play a hell lot of BTD5 for quite a large number of years on and off. But ever since BTD6 released, I always held off on playing it because it all just seemed so messy. I didn't like the idea of heroes. The main menu would always scream 15 different notifications and alerts to buy something new or complete a new task or something, and I didn't really want to take the time learning the new metas and towers and features. But during my usual watch a 2-hour YouTube video on the second monitor and play a game mood, I decide, what the heck? Now, I still do think the notifications on the main menus are definitely too much, but I love how modern and new everything feels. The new tower upgrades are implemented well for the most part. I wish there were more of the classic maps, because a lot of the ones in the game are just mid, but they work. And honestly, it's Bloons. It's going to be a good tower defense game. And for now, it's added into my rotation of casual games to play when binging some YouTube videos, like I usually do. And throughout the month, I dabbled in some Monopoly Plus. When I went over to my friend's house and we wanted to kill some time, it was always a blast plugging in some Monopoly on the Xbox and wasting the day away. You know what it is, I don't need to explain it, but all you need to know is the PC port fucking sucks. It maxes out at 1080p, and even though you can select above it, you can't even use full screen with it. The bots are actually crazy good at the game, and Ubisoft sucks fat butt. Mega dookie stinky farts. Dark Souls 1 needs no introduction. The classic, absolute peak action-adventure RPG game. I'm replaying the game for two reasons. One is I want to get 1440p footage, and two, I've just been missing the game, man. Check out future streams on my main channel if you want to watch me play the rest, by the way. Everything in the game is so memorable, from the bosses to the weapons and especially the map. Like I mentioned with Resident Evil Village, the layout of everything is so perfectly intertwined like a piece of origami, and every single place you look is gorgeous. From the blurs of shapes and colors in the distance, to the colorful and bright skyboxes, to the beautifully muddy and gritty textures, the game just has a vibe that hasn't been replicated since. It's quite magical, really.